My name is Jacob. I'm the founder of STEM to the Future. STEM to the Future is a extended learning program for Black, Latino, and Latina students ages 4 to 11 in Los Angeles and Augusta. Our mission is to empower the youth to see and use STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math, as a means of liberation. So we started STEM to the Future about a year ago, and throughout that time we've worked with over 600 students. And those students have been learning skills such as like foundational coding skills. Other students have developed, have gone through the design thinking process, and examples of some specific things they've done. Students have used those skills to develop a coding game to help younger students with their letters and sounds. And other students have used the design thinking process to develop solutions that would help mitigate the water crisis. So I got to teaching 6 years ago as a Teach for America Corps member, teaching in Brownsville, Brooklyn at an uncommon school. Our school was seen as one of the most high-performing schools in all of New York. So at any time, we'd have up to 30, 50 school leaders and teachers coming to observe the work we were doing at our school. However, we were teaching students in a way that was really preparing them solely to do well on state tests. We really weren't giving them the opportunity to express their creativity. They weren't learning 21st century skills, really like problem solving or critical thinking, or developing empathy. They were really going through an education system that was much more of a banking model, where we were just putting the information into their minds and not really exposing them to a lot of different careers and different fields of interest that they might be passionate about. Once I left that school, I went to another school in Harlem, and a colleague of mine, Alexandra Gwynn, she came as well, and she was a science teacher. In her time there, she piloted an ed tech program within the K, first, and second grade students. And as teacher second grade, I was in the room a lot while she was teaching, and I would see how she was bringing in different things like robotics. She had students learning about gardening. She was helping kids be proficient in typing and having international pen pals. It's just seeing her work there in the classroom that really inspired me to have a new look on what education can be and should be for the youth. It's not just this thing where you come to school and the teachers disseminate knowledge to you, but school should be a place where you come and you learn various different things that you might be passionate about and learn how you can use them to make the world a better place. So after my time in New York, I moved to LA, where I was training and coaching teachers, but while I was doing that, I was constantly trying to think of different solutions to various problems that exist within the education system. And just building off of the experience I had at the school in Harlem, I really wanted to create a program that was exposing students to much of the different technology and 21st century skills that are definitely much needed now in our society as it continues to evolve. And to do that was thinking between developing a school, creating different programs, and I eventually landed on creating an extended learning program as it gives us just more flexibility to work with kids in school, out of school. We're able to bring kids together from different neighborhoods. We're able to connect them to students all across the world, and be able to do that without having to work under any guidelines provided by the government. So our first program was in Inglewood at ISEP Inglewood School, where we worked with 25 kindergartners and first graders. So this was our 8-week pilot program. And during that time, students were learning coding for the first hour. And then for the second hour, we had various engineering and design thinking challenges. At the end of the 8 weeks, all students could read, write, and debug up to at least 10 lines of block coding. And all the students were scoring at least a 3 out of 5 on our engagement and engineering rubric that we used to track their progress in the challenges. Since then, we've worked with over 5 to 6 different schools. We are starting a partnership with the LAUSD school. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be teaching over 525 students a week. We'll be teaching them robotics and coding, as well as developing skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, empathy, communication, collaboration, alongside other skills as well. Unlike many other STEAM programs, STEM to the Future's goal is not for our students to one day, just our ultimate goal at least, is not for our students to one day go and secure a job at a multi-billion-dollar tech company. Our vision is for our students to be able to go through our program, have valuable experiences where they're identifying their passions, to be able to connect with other students who are like-minded and have similar interests, as well as professionals who they're also like-minded and they share interests with, and be able to use those experiences for the greater good of the community, and whether that be continuing to develop solutions for the water crisis, or that's being able to use their skills to develop some type of tech hub that can be beneficial to the community. Whatever they go on to do, we are trying to develop a disposition where they're using their skills to uplift the community. Just the other day, as I was leaving our program in Inglewood, this is a school we piloted at, and now the principal enjoyed the programming so much that she invited us back. And so there was a first grader who's in that class now, and she was also in the pilot. And she just tells she's like a natural when it comes to this stuff, and she finds it, you should see the joy in her face that she's focused. As I was leaving, I saw her mom, and her mom grabbed me and another teacher, and she was telling us how her daughter is constantly talking about Jacob and Norit, the other teacher, and how when she gets home, she's just constantly talking about the different things we did within the 2.5 hours the 2 hours we got to spend with her. And she said her mom was saying now Kayla's begging her for different science books, like begging her to buy different STEM toys for her, and just so she can keep the learning going. It's like one of those moments where you're sharing with a parent and you can just tell that you really have had an impact on not only the student, but also on their family. You can see tears in the mother's eyes. She was just like so, I guess like passionate or just kind of so taken aback of the impact that we were having on her daughter. 2019 is set up to be an exciting year for the STEM to the Future fam. I guess we are starting our first partnership with the LAUSD school, which I mentioned earlier. So we work with over 500 students working with robotics primarily, but we're also working on a partnership with the Marcus Garvey School. We'll be working with the 2nd through 6th graders. We also are we're really excited to be kicking off our partnership with the LA County Library. Our first library experience will actually be in a county library in Hawthorne. We'll be teaching different engineering practices. And then we also have a coding and 2 coding classes and a stop motion filmmaking class, which will be kicking off at end of January and early February in Los Angeles. And in Augusta, we were excited to have our first 2 workshops over the winter break at the Wallace Branch Library. And we're really looking forward to continuing our partnership with the county library. So definitely stay tuned to be in the loop with further STEM to the Future experiences for the community. So if you're a parent, a school leader, a family member, and you have students ages 4 to 11 who you believe would benefit from our programming, please sign up on our interest form so we can use that to help you stay connected to future programming. Further, you can support STEM to the Future by donating. We are a nonprofit, and so you would rely on donations. So you can donate by clicking the button on our website. We also really love to partner with volunteers, not only those who work in STEAM fields, but also those who are passionate about the youth. So if you would like to volunteer, you can fill out the volunteer form on our website, and we'll be sure to reach out to you for future volunteer opportunities. Lastly, definitely follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all at STEM to the Future. In closing, I want to leave you with a quote from Paulo Freire. No one is born fully formed. It's through self-experience in the world that we become what we are.